Hey, folks, welcome back. This is Chris in England once again. South Africa's foreign minister, the director of international relations and cooperation, DIRCO, Ronald Lamola, or as I prefer to call him now, Ozzy, it's his middle name. Ozzy is either the dumbest minister in the cabinet, which is quite a challenge, or he's simply a major propagandist. You decide. Lamola has gone out of his way to piss off Taiwan. He says the issue of the relocation of the Taiwan liaison office from our side, we consider it done because we have gazetted its relocation to the city of Johannesburg as a commercial liaison office. Wonderful. ANC officials have decided something. Therefore, we must all simply fall in line. Never mind past agreements and treaties that you're breaking. He says, and we have stated the reasons because our relations with Taiwan are at the commercial level in trade. Now, this comes, of course, on the heels of Taiwan threatening to embargo the shipment of microprocessors to South Africa, which would be very harmful to its economy because South Africa doesn't produce microprocessors, but Taiwan is one of the world's largest producers. Now, of course, like most countries, mine included, Ronnie Lamola and the ANC have betrayed the Chinese people in favor of an illegitimate, murderous communist regime which murdered 30 or 40 million people during the Cultural Revolution to consolidate their rule over the innocents in China. He went on to say this is not just a South African phenomenon. In many capitals across the globe, Taiwan is in the commercial cities, not in the capital. Really? Is that really the case? Lamola said, even in Washington, they're not there. So it's not a South African phenomenon. It's a global phenomenon in line with the UN protocols, the Vienna Convention. Actually, no, it's not. That's a lie. He's wrong. That is a pure propaganda statement. Taipei maintains the Taipei Economic and Cultural Representative Office in the United States, its de facto embassy in Washington, D.C. Contrary to Ryan Lamola's lies, it's in Washington, D.C., along with a dozen other official operational locations in the United States. So not only do they have one location, they have an official residence there, which is actually larger than the White House compound, one of the largest pieces of property in the District of Columbia. The Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a statement responding to Lamola's false claims that Taiwan's representative offices around the globe are situated in commercial cities, that no Taiwanese representative office existed in Washington, D.C., and the act of unilaterally compelling the relocation of Taiwan's representative office in South Africa was therefore part of a global phenomenon in line with UN protocols and the Vienna Convention, none of which was true. It is an effort from an unqualified caterer promoted to positions many levels above his capacity to mislead the public in his typically arrogant, dismissive, and condescending manner. That's probably why he is the minister, because he does all those stupid things. These claims were intended to justify South Africa's unilateral abandonment of a 1997 bilateral agreement that would downgrade Taiwan's representative office by renaming it the Taipei Commercial Office and wrongly force the office to move. So Taiwan agreed to rename the representation office to a commercial office in 1997 with South Africa, but that did not involve a move. This is a spiteful effort to kowtow to the Chinese overlords, the communist, illegitimate government of Beijing. That's what South Africa's doing. Now, the ANC has violated the agreement, which it signed in 1997, and that in itself is not surprising. The Taiwanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs strongly refutes Minister Lamola's claims, which not only contradicted reality, but also highlighted South Africa's grave lack of knowledge and understanding of their national situation. Ooh, slam. When Taiwan has established a representative office anywhere in the world, the office has been established in the capital city in accordance with both international norms and bilateral agreements signed with the host country. In the United States, for example, in addition to the operation of Taiwan's representative office in Washington, D.C., local exchanges are promoted by 12 other offices spread across the nation. At present, Taiwan's representative office in South Africa is maintaining normal operations in the capital of Pretoria and continues to provide necessary service to its nationals, including business people and overseas compatriots. Now, the Daily Maverick asked Ronnie Lamola's spokesman to comment on Lamola's assertion that Taiwan did not have an office in Washington. And DIRCO's response, he meant it's not an embassy. Well, that was the response, which is an obvious lie to cover up Lamola's ignorance or propaganda. As I said, in the U.S., Taiwan maintains a dozen offices spread across the country, including a major official residence in Washington, D.C., and its diplomatic office there. So Lamola knows better, or he's dumb as a box of rocks. You decide. Every week he says something dumber than the previous week. And one has to wonder, is he really that stupid? Or is he just that committed to spreading false information, disinformation? Once again, South Africa's government, intentionally or otherwise, is spreading disinformation and lying about global diplomatic relations, as they've done in the talks about trade with the United States, tariffs, and the refusal to send an ambassador to Washington, D.C. What say you, South Africa? What say you, world? I say the ANC and the government national unity are full of it, and they're spreading disinformation. And that's the bottom line here. Cheers.